Awesome. So thanks for joining us, everyone. And I'd like to ask you all to wake up and shine on with us tonight for tonight's topic. We're going to be covering a little bit of different structure than normal Tuesday podcasts go for us. We will have hopefully a slight mystery guest here in a little bit, but I think
mystery guest coming up.
Yeah, we apologize that we did not have philosophical tonight. Hopefully we'll get him rescheduled very soon.
Yes, definitely. And a lot of things to talk about, mainly for this podcast, since Phil had to cancel for tonight. It sort of gave us an open session to wing it, as you may call it. But I feel like it's important to talk about the energy that's going on right now. To talk about the the eclipse slash new moon slash supermoon slash equinox.
Spring equinox, Austera. All of that's actually happening on International Astronomers Day.
National Astronomers Day.
Yeah.
Oh, today is that day?
No, when the eclipse is happening. Just happens to fall on International Astronomy Day.
Yeah, no big deal.
Well, there's other million things are happening.
Super synchronistic. So we are wearing green, as you can see.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Yep. Is that today?
I think so. It's sometime this week.
Yep.
Along with
that's today.
Green celebrating Kidney Month. Kidney Month.
Yes. Happy Kidney Month. Happy St. Patrick's Day. If you go out and drink, make sure you drink lots of water the next day and go for a run, because your body will thank you for it. So before we get to our mystery guest, we'll bring them on here shortly. And I guess in a different sort of format, would you be interested in doing the cosmic energy forecast to begin?
I sure can. It's a little bit longer than normal this week because of everything that's happening. So hopefully we can get it up here.
Should I share it now?
Yeah. Well, no.
No? Oh.
You have the photo on the link.
What link do I have?
The cosmic energy forecast that you can find at the top of the Project From Me to Life website. Thanks. It's up there in the corner. Alright, guys. So this week we have like we were mentioning, quite some events happening. With the solar eclipse on March 20th, which is this Friday. It's happening around 5 a.m. on Eastern Standard Time. It's also happening, like I said, on International Astrology Day. The new moon is in Pisces, and the spring equinox, or Austera, is happening all this weekend. So, talk about a lot happening. There's a lot of energy showing themselves. Some weeks are just more significant than others, but really this week is beyond a game changer. With the solar eclipse being a rare happening, it won't happen again for about, I think it's 20 to 30 years. It's also in Aries, which has a lot to do with a huge shift we've been feeling. Anytime Aries comes into play, it revolves change and just a new beginning, because Aries is the first zodiac in the order that they go. So the eclipse is only going to be visible in some sparsely inhabited islands and in some of Europe. I believe it's called the Faroe Islands. And the effects are really being felt around the globe, even though they can't be seen everywhere. An eclipse is an astronomical event that occurs when one object in the sky moves in the shadow of another. And the term is most often used to describe either a solar eclipse when the moon's shadow crosses the Earth's surface, which is what's happening this week, or a lunar eclipse when the moon moves into the shadow of the Earth. The spiritual research conducted by SSRF reveals that there's a very spiritual perspective and shift that happens when an eclipse occurs. It's one of the most detrimental celestial phenomenons, especially for those who are able to see it. The sun is really the light of our world, but when this anomaly happens, the moon's blocking out the sun's light, which gives rise to a high amount of possibly negative spiritual vibrations that are leaking through. It's really important to be able to block those at this time. The solar and lunar eclipses are also very significant events on a spiritual level, because when these happen, there's an increase of the Rahatama energy.
Rahatama.
Yeah. And it can have negative effects on humanity if we allow it to. It's something that ghosts or more dark energies, dark spirits like to take advantage of, because it's a heightened energy and creates a variety of issues that can have a global negative just repercussions from it. So it's really important that you focus on kind of protecting yourself with regular spiritual practice. It's a really good time to put prayer in. Prayer's being super effective right now. It also ensures that we're isolating ourselves from the intangible and harmful effects just by appreciating the fact that we can protect ourselves in such a way from the negative energies. Negative energies from the spiritual dimension are coming out in full force at this time because they're taking advantage of the increase of the negative vibrations that come from the darkness of the sun's light being blocked. So the fact that the whole environment, especially where the eclipse can be seen, is being changed, it's kind of like a spiritual pollution. But in the long run, it kind of sounds scary, but what it's doing is it's taking the darkness with it, because with the solar eclipse happening, as it shifts and goes away, it's also taking all those energies with it. They're almost learning from it and then going about their path. And due to the sun being obscured by the barrier in front during the eclipse, there are several spiritual impacts that are happening. The environment becomes a conduit for the negative energy to amass the black energy. Black energy is a type of spiritual energy that is this primary weapon for the negative spirits to come through, like I was saying. So they're kind of like feeding off of it. And it's the most conducive for the negative energies to utilize it right now. So they're going to try to attempt to harm things and to plant seeds. But the good thing about that is, at this point, there's a battle going on, which I'll get to in just a few moments, in some planets, and it's coming to an end. And the solar eclipse is kind of a symbolism of that shift happening. And you may be sensing a lot of bumps in the night as some of the darker stuff is being shaken about in this realm, and that's so it can be released with the eclipse. The upside about the solar eclipse is that, unlike natural disasters, we can see them coming, and we know about them well in advance, and you can take appropriate measures to protect yourselves against it. There's a number of things you can do to take precautions at this time, and on a physical and a spiritual level, just to protect yourself. And one is, if you're going to be able to see it, if you're in one of the parts of the world that are able to see it, just be very careful how you view it. Any energy that you absorb at that time is going to be very, very important to your upcoming just adventures and life in general, because it's very potent. But it's a great time to increase any prayer or intention grids you have set. It's a great time to charge and cleanse your stones in water or safely near lit candle that you can keep near your bedside, because a lot of the effects will happen in the astral realm and when you're sleeping in dream time. So a lot of people are having increased visions. Visions are really strong at this point, because with the veil being so thin, not only is that negative energy coming through, it's really important because just basically the visions and the information from our guides and stuff are also easily accessible. And though they're having to struggle because the Raha Tama energy is kind of feeding off of it, they're still coming through just as strong to deliver messages that need to be received. Let's see here. To fight these attacks, also, it's just really good to put yourself in like a protection light, and especially when it's dark. When you go to sleep on Thursday night into Friday night, just imagine yourself, I mean, being fine is normal. It's just, in a spiritual sense, know that it's a new beginning. Along with all the energy happening there with the eclipse, the battle that I mentioned was the dances between Uranus and Pluto. They actually begun back in 2012. During this war, Pluto has been on the side more of financial transformations. A lot of families or people in general have been struggling with a financial transformation. There's also been a lot of political shuffling and other just geological breakdowns. Uranus is also giving us shocking proof that we need to turn in a new direction, which explains the mass amount of humans that have awoken to their divine purpose since 2012. That was really where that big shift was coming, was the battle between Pluto and Uranus. And the solar eclipse is really just, like I said, it's like a marker of that ending. Starting in this week into April, Uranus will start to move out of Pluto's range, which will then continue shifting all the way to 2046, which is quite some time away, which is, like I said, a whole new era for people. It's now time to pick up the pieces that the war between both of them have created. The eclipse has helped us mark that and given us that chance, and also is taking a lot of that dark energy with it. So while every new moon is technically a signal of a new beginning, generally of a 2-week period, this is really a signal to a new era, making a new start. A solar eclipse is just like a cosmic wild card that's really showing us that a shift is happening for a reason. And especially falling on such a significant time of the year, spring cleaning, it's really time to do that cleaning out of your life. That's why many people are doing not just normal spring cleaning, but an entire just out of the old and in with the new. In general, the solar eclipse will also just be personally significant if it lands on or near your birthday. So many people that are having birthdays right now, it's just a huge year for you guys. It's going to be a big turning point. And the sun's also going into Aries, like I mentioned before. So that signals the start of spring or equinox. And equinox means that it's the first 2 days of the year when the apparent path of the sun crosses the equator, meaning that Friday, after the eclipse, there will also be nearly equal amounts of day and night. So it's the time to take advantage of this. It's a cosmic equilibrium, and it'll help start a new beginning with a sense of balance. So really just be balancing out your energies, and appreciation for life in general should be very high at this point. And it's the best time of year to plant seeds of the things you want to see growing in your future. So this week's really all about the timing and protection, and while being open to immense changes that are happening cosmically. And it's really important that we all shine through them with divine light and know that we're here to witness it all for a divine reason and purpose. So grab onto that purpose and allow the new paths to unfold before your eyes, and other spirits of light will embrace it with you as the dark energy converts its positive passing to the other side. And all the planets are just really shifting pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it was a little longer, and I hope you all bared with me, but there's a lot happening this week. Big deal.
Yeah. Well, one thing that really jumped out to me when you're talking was that's the finale of a battle that started in 2012?
Yeah, between Pluto and Uranus. Everyone kind of laughs when people say the name Uranus, but it actually has a lot to do with our energy, because they're the one, like, that energy is what makes us want to have a positive shift, where Pluto, being as far away as it is really pulling our energy and pulling just that negativity out. So it's really important that war is coming to an end and a big shift right now.
So, yeah, a lot of people did have an awakening in 2012.
Yeah, for sure.
And so the fact that they did go through that spiritual awakening then, when this battle between these two planets started, now in like 2015 it's coming to an end, like the final battle between the two, and
quite a finale to have a solar eclipse as well, right? Yeah. As the shift is occurring.
Yeah, I'm just curious as to how these people who began their awakenings in 2012, how this is like affecting that spirituality or that path that they started in 2012.
Yeah, I think that's why so many people that have went through the awakening are able to embrace the fact that there are such big shifts happening. Like, some people will be like, oh, there's not a whole lot happening right now, but they haven't yet awoken, and there could be another shift in solar eclipse in their near future. However, what is happening right now is definitely affecting a lot of those who had that huge shift in 2012.
Yeah, for sure. It's just when I read that it was a supermoon plus an eclipse, the equinox, just all these things that, like, we always talk about it's all happening and all that stuff, but we've never had a cosmic energy forecast that was this packed.
No, we really haven't, and I mean there's probably more I could have covered, because literally, like, all the planets are shifting right now. And usually it seems like I always say that there's a lot happening, and there might be 1 or 2 planets doing a shift, but right now everything is going into that new beginning mode, and there's such a huge transition happening that literally across the board, almost all the zodiacs are being affected, all of the different energy types, all the different species, whatever you want to call it, everything is being affected with such a huge transition period.
Yeah, and that's why you were talking about praying is such an important time right now.
Yeah, because no matter really what higher power you believe in, they're all really accessible. I know that they're with us at all times to begin with, but with the veil being so thin, there's so many guides that are currently channeling through just like each other's friends, and I'm going to touch on that. I'm going to touch on that in the card reading, because one of the cards that came up showed themselves, and it's really to be a better listener rather than to speak so much. And I find that funny because I'm always the person that interrupts people, and I don't mean to. I really don't. But it's so important to be listening to people, because every person in your world right now is playing as a conduit for some sort of message. There's so many visions that are coming through and so many synchronistic happenings. Like we were out of water for almost 2 weeks, and I literally had a dream that it'd be fixed on a Tuesday. Guess what, guys? We got water back. But not only that, I even told Celia last night that if maybe we prayed together really hard, that it would be fixed on this Tuesday. And one of the first gentlemen that came to fix the water, he instantly said, "If you pray about it, it'll work." And I said, "That's so funny. Last night I said we were going to pray about it." The gentleman actually started praying with me. Didn't matter if we were praying to separate entities, as long as that higher power energy and faith that it was going to happen was there, it pulled through. They thought they were going to have to give up, but we continued to pray through it and just have faith. Hey, we're getting this fixed, and things are possible, and things are being manifested, for sure.
Yeah. That's something I've been getting into recently too, is making sure that I end the day at least with a prayer, and hopefully, I would like to start getting into the habit of starting the day with a prayer. Even if it's just a 10-second prayer, or whatever. It's important. Yeah, and getting into a habit of doing positive things like that, it sort of puts us into autopilot to do the things that are good for us. So, at first, if you're trying to start something that you want to do, that you know will help you, it may be really hard at first, but after you get into that habit, it just becomes automatic, and you don't even realize that you're doing it. It's just like simple.
Yeah, and it even gets to a point like when you're humming or you're just like kind of spacing out, just make that intention to just put a little prayer out, even if it's just a thank you for being able to think about it and not have a worry on your brain for that moment. And I've really been trying to make that an intention, that when I'm space cadetting, as I like to call it, and just kind of staring out and receiving messages from the divine, to actually thank all of the higher powers and all of the elementals and all of those things that come into play in our world, just to have that experience. Sometimes we forget about that.
Yeah. So I was thinking about doing the solar flare update, and then bringing our guest on, and then doing the card reading near the end.
We're going with the flow on this one, guys.
All right.
Our version of flowetry.
Our version of flowetry. All right. Sorry. So I'm going to start this solar flare update once I find which window I need.
It's going to be an interesting weekend. I'm kind of excited for the energy. Definitely be putting your crystal grids up and taking some time to just embrace the shift and to know that there's new beginnings. A lot of people, we've been having a lot of rough weeks. I know that I'm not the only one. There's been a lot of rough experiences between this past new moon, and it's really going to be exciting. And I'm excited to see what the solar forecast has to say for all this happening too.
Yeah. I would like to. I'm trying to get this going. I'm getting a little TD problem right now.
It happens.
But this solar flare is very exciting. So once I finish pausing all these videos that I accidentally had going, I'll get into it. All right. So this sunspot right here is 2297. I wish that thing would go away. 2297 right here on the right, sort of right center. We've had 72 solar flares since last Tuesday, including an X2 class solar flare on March 11th. X2 is a very extreme solar flare. So to have an X class this past week has been very, it sort of tells you that the sun is on a roll. It's had a lot of activity going on. Only five of these solar flares have come from a sunspot other than 2297. So like I said, 2297 is center right here, and that's what's causing most of the activity that we have going on right now. We did have a coronal mass ejection. It's what I call a CME. Some people on the podcast think I'm saying see me, but it's a coronal mass ejection. A coronal mass ejection contacted Earth's atmosphere at around 4:30 Universal Time, and that was earlier today, March 17th. This caused a geomagnetic storm. And this geomagnetic storm was class G4. It started off as a G1, but went to G4. And what this means is that it makes this geomagnetic storm the strongest storm of the current solar cycle. And you can see in the top right, the Earth is the green dot on the top right, and the sun is the yellow dot. And you can see these waves are passing through Earth. Those are caused by the solar flares, and they're basically like ions that are hitting Earth's atmosphere. It's part of what causes the auroras, and also it can cause blackouts. So we did get hit there. A light green, but so nothing too serious, but something that will affect our planet. So solar wind was steady at 400 kilometers per second. However, the coronal mass ejection that hit Earth that I was talking about caused the wind speeds to rise to a little over 600 kilometers per second. And so expect this strong wind speed to last for the next 3 days into March 19th. The aurora forecast that we have for you, get that up there. All right. With the high solar wind speeds, there's a good chance for auroras to dip pretty far south. Recently, we did have the auroras go as far south as Wisconsin. So you can see there it really revs up, and this is when the solar wind gets to over 600 kilometers per second. So there is a good chance for auroras to dip, even possibly touching Michigan. That's just that ends the aurora forecast, so it doesn't go past that date. But if it went further, you'd see it at least.
What a podcast, guys. The energies are very fierce.
Okay, so if you didn't hear the full solar flare, just a basic rundown. So we had 72 solar flares, one X-class solar flare, one coronal mass ejection that hit Earth's atmosphere, which caused a lot of technical problems in the world. Apparently our mic was one of them. Aliens.
It happens.
It does happen. Solar wind speeds went from 400 kilometers per second to 600 kilometers per second when that solar flare, or that coronal mass ejection, hit Earth, which is causing a lot of aurora borealis, and it's going pretty far south. So Greenland and Iceland, they both have a really good chance to see the aurora during the eclipse at the same time.
Same time.
At the same dang time.
Fierce.
So fierce.
I wish I could see them both.
Me too, man. Okay. So let's bring on our mystery guest. So Samantha, whenever you're ready, why don't you go ahead and join us on this wonderful day?
Hi guys.
We have you on again. I'm so excited.
I know. And I'm over here tripping out over what just happened. That was.
What were you hearing? Was it straight alien bebops?
CeeLo, I Snapchatted it to you. guys. Watch it. Yeah, and I'll put it on Facebook too because I saved the video. It was so weird. So you'll have to watch it. But you were just all sorts of like, I don't even know how to explain it. It was weird.
We were
But
being a
awesome.
conduit for light aliens to speak through.
Yeah, that is interesting. So
You weren't kidding in the cosmic whatever. I can't even think of the words right now. Your bit, Shannon. You weren't kidding when you said that there were messages coming through left and right, and I'm pretty sure that those were probably some of them.
I've been getting such strong visions and just connections in general. The past week has been ridiculously overwhelming, and I've had a very big influx of emails and messages through Facebook and Gmail, just like, oh my gosh, I've had this vision, and I'm like, okay, I can't even like keep up with some of them, and it's so intense right now. There's so many people that are just getting hit with them, and we're being conduits for them. The podcast got taken over by them. Things are happening.
man,
Definitely.
yeah. How have you been doing? And what's your take on all the space stuff that's going on?
Yeah, it's been a lot for me. It's been a really emotional time. There's been a lot going on as far as like releasing and things that like I didn't even know were like, even like in me have been surfacing pretty hardcore, and I've just been kind of all over the place and like not feeling it. I'm just ready for March to be over. It's been intense.
So for those who do not know, our guest, this mystery guest, is Samantha Monker. She was on our show last week talking about her kidney transplant.
Yes.
And you're also going to the metaphysics school.
I am.
How is that going?
I actually haven't started yet.
Nice, I like it.
Been busy doing my spring cleaning.
Mm-hmm.
Just to get all of that energy and old stuff out of the way before I get started on the new. I don't want to be dealing with both at the same time.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty key for this time to sort of like let go of all that old stuff and get that spring cleaning going. It seems to be very important. You got a sign there, it says?
It was said, oh no, the aliens have taken over. It was for when our beep boops were happening.
Okay. Did you end up showing it?
No, I didn't get to it, but as soon as I had it written, the aliens went away.
Well,
I was ready for it.
So,
I didn't know if we were gonna have to end podcasts. I was
You'll
worried.
just have to save that. It might happen again. You never know.
Yeah, the aliens have taken over. It's official happenings when we have technical difficulties. I feel like they want to channel through us really, really bad.
yeah. So, just getting back to the spring cleaning, though, that stuff channeling through is very, very important. But I wanted to see some of your techniques, Samantha, that you use for releasing things.
Oh, for releasing?
Good one.
Actually, one thing I've been doing lately that's kind of new for me is I've been working with candles quite a bit.
Ooh, I like candles.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, so lighting the candle with an intention to release whatever it is that I'm working on at that particular moment, and then when I'm ready to let it go, I just blow out the candle and let it go with the smoke.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you do a lot of work with the candles.
Yeah, I'm a fire elemental, and I really enjoy fire in like safe ways. Like I'm really safe with my candles. I lost a couple cousins in a fire when I was younger, so I'm really safe with candles, and I urge people to be really safe with them. But I really enjoy using them for release. And earlier today, we got to go down by the creek and
You say crick? What do you guys say?
Crick or creek?
Crick or creek?
But yeah, I like to light candles by water. I feel like it was important that's why a lot of humans, they gravitate towards water because water is so important to us. But they also always looked for nice big rocks and places that were sustainable to build a fire and keep a fire going. And I actually I recommend letting the fire burn as much as I recommend doing it very safely. Letting the fire go out on its own intrigues the fire elementals and it makes them happy, so it brings like a good luck. But definitely be careful letting things burn and letting them go out on their own, because by them going out on their own, it's like the fire mixing with the air elemental, and it has like a certain spiritual vibe to it. So I used to always put candles out as soon as I was done. I do a lot of releasing and burning things too. Like I like to write things down and burn them to release them. And another way to do it is if the flame is big, don't do it. But I often put them out with just like my fingertips real fast. I usually have wax on my finger before I do it, so the wax helps put it out. That way you're not actually blowing it out, and it still provides the smoke for you. Apparently blowing it out was in some, I'm not sure if it's Indian culture or some tribal cultures, blowing it out kind of takes away from the fire elemental power somehow. I'm not 100% sure.
I've heard that it's not good to just like blow it out. You should do it with your fingers or a candle snuffer or
for sure
of that nature. Yeah.
But sometimes I have to blow them out too. It's not my favorite way to do it, but
I know. I recently I have like a little scarf that's underneath like my little altar that I have, and I've been burning lavender a lot, like dried lavender flowers, and which, just doing it like just on the candles probably not the best way to do it, but it's what I've been doing, and I ended up burning a hole in my scarf.
Oh.
I've lost many a good tablecloth and altar cloth to fire and candle wax. I think almost all of my altar cloths have candle wax on them now. It happens.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that.
Definitely be careful, for sure. But candle work is fun. It's very. It's obviously a warm feeling, but you can get so much spiritual energy through a flame.
Oh, absolutely.
That's why tribes always go for campfires and bonfires and things like that. Spiritual power.
Yeah. One way that it might be a little bit off topic, but one way I learned to activate my third eye or my pineal gland was to just stare at a flame, and sort of the more you concentrate on it, the more of sort of this physical mind chatter you let go of, and visions, I would say, start to come. It's very transcendental. It's very if you haven't stared at a flame, do it for 5 minutes and let us know how it goes.
I often see things dancing in the fire. It's very magical. Very magical.
I'm going to have to try this.
I'm so excited for bonfire season and just hanging out by campfires with people. It's such a good feeling. I remember at Equinox last year, one of the most peaceful times I had was just sitting by the fire, and everybody was kind of like meditating and just humming their own spiritual song, and everyone was kind of just getting lost in it. It was a good time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Good time. What's the way you release things?
I go to the top of a mountain and I yell really loud.
Really loud.
Yep. It's what my soul like requires from me. It's like all this stuff has just been building up over and over and over, and one of the best ways for me to let it go is just to like go to the top of the mountain, because the top of the mountains are just I feel like everything is within God's within our hearts and all that, but going to the mountain, just the sense of that I'm higher and I'm closer to the heavens, just the feeling of it is nice. And I always want to go to the top of a mountain and release something there. So I did in the not the end of 2012, but the very beginning of 2013. I let go of a lot of my identity. So Nick, Bryce, and I got back from California, and we went to where I lived at the time in Bridgman, near Lake Michigan. And I took all my stuff that I had, like I took my high school diploma and a few government-issued identification.
All the important stuff you need to do big kid things.
I I decided to take off that and just sort of let myself go from any identity that I had at the time, and I took it all and I went into the woods, and Nick and I watched it all burn in a big fire, and then at the end we did a little fire spinning ceremony with the fireplace. And
Did he burn his stuff with you?
no.
Oh, okay. Just curious.
Yeah, my friend Andrew was like, "What are you doing with all that stuff?" I was like, "I'm gonna burn it." He's like, "What?
I'm sure.
What?
Those are important documents.
But I've sort of gotten past that point where I want to let go of all that stuff, just mainly because I'm not here to hide myself from society. I'm here to immerse myself in it and connect with as many of the human population as I can to sort of bring them to life in a way with art, music, literature, and podcasting.
I'm doing it.
Yeah, and so Samantha,
Yes.
you are wearing green.
We're all wearing green. Good job.
Lots
We
and
did
lots
it.
of
Yeah. Is there any other way besides fire that you let go of things?
I think another really fun way, and just because I love doing it in general, is dancing is always good for releasing.
Mm.
I don't really know how, like I don't know, just letting go and forgetting and letting it get lost with the movement, however crazy it might be, and
Mhm.
just when you come back down from that sort of high, you're just much lighter and more free, and it's all just kind of, your troubles kind of just melt away in a sense.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Mm. Do you dance in public?
No. No, I was thinking about that the other day, like there was this kid, I was driving with my brother and there was this kid on the side of the road and he was just getting down, just like boogieing and like doing
Yeah.
his thing, and I was just like, you know what? I admire that kid because like not enough people do that, And kind of made me want to like get out of the car and like start busting a move, but like I think that would be even more like releasing because you'd lose so many inhibitions, like just
All the
breaking
barriers.
free and doing that.
Yeah, that's a good point. Letting go of like any sort of barriers that are holding you back.
Oh, I'm getting into barriers in the card reading tonight. But it's so funny that you said that, because on our way to the market, I think it was yesterday, there was this old guy, and he was outside of a laundromat, and he was just getting it. He was just dancing all over the place. I was like, what's going on there? What is that? Is there music playing? Is he just dancing at the corner? I have no idea still. I think he was just dancing. He was just dancing a bit. And it just made my day really better. It really did.
Yeah, I found dancing. That's a great thing that you brought up. 2011, I wasn't much of a dancer. 2012, I was dancing all over. Now it's like I still dance all the time.
I met him dancing at a festival. Kind of met him at dancing at a festival. If I couldn't find him, I knew he was at the front of the stage dancing. And it's usually where he was found. It was an interesting weekend.
Yeah, it's you get into like a process. You go to the front of the stage, you're like just bob your head,
And
you start to move your feet a little bit, and then at the end of the set, you're just like, bam, let's go.
Going for it. Heck yeah.
Yeah. Once you get to that point where you're just like, your heart starts beating really fast, and you just get really into your dancing. It's very cathartic, and it's so therapeutic, and it does release a whole lot. And I'm so happy that you brought up dancing.
Yeah, it's definitely been a growing experience for me. I wasn't huge into it. Actually, when I was younger, I was really into it. My family actually thought it was really strange I'd be the one to go out and be in front of everybody, and they always kind of were like, oh, how can you do that? I don't want to be seen by anyone. And like when you're dancing, someone's gonna notice you. Even if there's a whole room of them dancing, someone's gonna see you dancing. But you don't necessarily get judged for it like a lot of people are so scared of. Usually, like you said, people are embracing it. Even if someone's dancing funny, they're getting a giggle out of it, and you're providing a giggle for somebody else, and that's a good feeling, even if you feel silly. And it's almost as important as singing, and that's something that is, I think, I know I'm personally trying to go into it a little more. You've done a good job at getting me to grow into both. But I think when dancing is mentioned, singing should also get a shout out, because as much as I don't like to sing in public, speaking of my water being off earlier, I literally sang a little prayer this morning, and right around then was when the other gentleman started praying with me, and things just started happening. So I think singing is really important to be mentioned along with dancing, for sure.
Music.
Singing loud and proud, no matter how good or bad it sounds.
Yeah.
Yes. I listened to you. I think you posted something on Snapchat. You were singing.
Yeah, it was really pretty, actually. I caught some of it.
Do you sing a lot?
I do, not really like for people,
Just
but
for
I
Snapchat.
enjoy it, you know. What's that?
I said just for Snapchat.
Yep.
You have to get your Snapchat. Maybe I'll start using it more. Sometimes me and Snapchat play. Ree's in the chat, and Ree says hooping is very good. She releases through hooping, and I think that's important too, hooping and dancing. I got my hoop out the past couple of days, and it's been awesome. Been so awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a perfect time to get out of our hibernation den. Get out there and
Yep.
do the things that we have been looking at, like your hoop, or
Yeah, hoop.
if you have rollerblades or skateboard or something, it's perfect time, and it's time to go out and get some of our physical exercise in. And
So even if you don't have any of that, just running. I don't know how many times you've come back in from a run and you've just been like, oh, it feels good. He loves running.
I do. I don't love it while I'm really tired and about to pass out, but
You always are running.
but afterwards, like I've been running for about 2 weeks now, and afterwards I feel so good. I feel so good.
Probably longer than 2 weeks. You've been going for a run every day for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. So physical activities is a great thing to do to let go of things, especially running. First, I just started running. I just went down to the bottom of the hill, which isn't very far. It's only a few hundred feet, and then I would run back. Now I run down and run all the way up to the top of a mountain, and then come back down and up the hill again.
Good job. More than I'm gonna run.
Oh, I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be running.
No, he does it when it's hot out. He does it when it's cold out. In the summer, he did it with his bare feet, and I was just like, how do you do it?
Gosh.
Yeah. My feet have gotten used to soft, fluffy socks.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting summer.
Yeah. It's been an interesting
Transitional period.
transition, yes.
Are you excited for this eclipse this weekend? Are you feeling mystical things happening?
I'm what?
Are you feeling mystical things happening?
Yeah, I can feel them coming too. Like, I'm really excited to see what's gonna unfold in the next little while here, because I just feel like there's something big happening. Like we're getting through all the crud and like treading through it, but at the end of that, there's gonna be something awesome waiting, and
Yeah, for sure. The sun is shining through.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of baffled by the alien sounds we had earlier. I'm kind of stoked to hear these video recordings of them.
I'm just happy and honored and grateful that we have people in the chat to say something.
Yeah, to let us know that we have aliens taking over the podcast.
Imagine you guys would have just been going the whole podcast and then
Yeah.
not even.
Podcast number 37 was for the aliens.
We listened to a podcast earlier, and the lady was talking about the heart song and the soul song, and she was talking in like light language where it's like a lot of chanting, and most of her podcast was in that, and I was just listening to it like, whoa, is that, like, at first I kind of forgot I was listening to her podcast and just kept hearing her noises, and I was like, did her podcast tweak out? So I'm kind of like baffled that actually happened during our podcast after I listened to that earlier.
I think our podcast is called Tree City, I think.
Something like that. I'm not sure. But it was intense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm excited to be doing things.
Yeah. So, Samantha, just one more question for you.
Of course.
What are you most looking forward to for this spring and the shifting of the changes? Now that we've got the spring weather coming, where no more coldness. Personally, I know we were excited to get down by the water today and just enjoy the water. It was
great.
Awesome.
Right.
But what are you looking forward to most this season?
Yeah, I definitely like just being outside more. I know that like last summer and stuff with just not really feeling very well in general, like I wasn't out and about much, so I'm itching to get out there and reconnect with Mother Gaia and all the little elementals and all the little critters. I know I had 3 little squirrels out in my backyard today, just all day, putting on a little show. It was so funny. I decided that they're like the three stooges of the squirrel world.
I was thinking Alvin and the Chipmunks for some reason instead of chipmunks and being squirrels.
Yeah. And but yeah, just getting outside and like connecting with nature and being able to grow through that connection that I haven't had in for so long, and sunshine, you know, like who doesn't love like all those lovely rays just like uplifting and warming and yeah, so definitely getting outside and growing and
Oh,
That's awesome.
great. Well, thank you for joining the podcast as the mystery guest for tonight.
yeah, thank you guys for having me. 2 weeks in a row, like how cool is that?
Doing it.
Yeah, definitely.
We're grateful to have people to help us on such short notice.
No, definitely. It is something that we can't even begin to describe how thankful we are.
For sure.
So, feel free to stay on if you want, and I'm going to ask the audience if they have any questions for any of us. That includes Samantha. Then go ahead and formulate those questions. And as soon as the card reading is over, we will get to those questions. So
Awesome.
feel free to do that. And I will take it over now to Shantasik for her card reading.
Awesome. This week's card reading is a good one. It's actually from my my spirit animal deck. The reason I chose to do my spirit animal deck this week was because animals are just really strongly affected by eclipses and different things like that. Even if they don't necessarily see them, they feel the energies more strongly because they have a more primitive way of just looking at life. So this week's card reading, like I said, it's from my Power Animals deck. The animals are here to show us different aspects of our life that's important for us to take in. And they're also here as a reminder that we're all connected. This week we have 3 special animals showing themselves as we make these major shifts in the physical realm. Our first power animal is the wolf. And he or she is really just coming as a guardian to us and is here to remind us that we're really safe at all times. And in the physical, the emotional, and the psychic sense, it's time to let the barriers go down and the barriers you've created to protect yourself from past pains and wounds. It's really a time that they're simply no longer needed. As scary as it sounds, with all the things happening, it's important to let those barriers down because it's time to change the pattern of energy and release it to a new pattern. And know you're ready to move beyond the illusion and the pain of regret and build new visions of the world. Your old boundaries are expanding, and the new beginnings are really starting to find better patterns for your growth. So it's just time to trust that Spirit is always available to aid you in protection, and it's always there when you really need it. And that's where that prayer we've been talking so strongly about really comes into play. By allowing yourself to relax with these barriers, you'll be able to access many new experiences that are awaiting you. They're really just waiting for you to come out of your comfort zone. It's hard for new things to come and approach you when you're so carefully guarded because you spend your whole life building these barriers that new things have to almost find a magical way to seep through to you. So know you still have the barriers accessible to you, and just use them more as a tool rather than a daily crutch through your life. So allow yourself to live. Allow those new things to come. Don't hold back clutching to the old idea that others aren't going to love you back, because that's a scary feeling, and you're not alone with that. Everybody's feeling that. Just be outrageous in expressing your love for life, and know that your family extends much further than blood. It's further beyond the lines of heredity and race or even species, that we're really all connected, and just even the creations that may not seem to be living on this earth are very connected to us for a reason. And the more love you have, the more love is able to find you. So the wolf is one of my favorite spirit animals, and I'm really glad he showed himself at this time. He's really good to guard you against any of the solar eclipse activity or any of the activity that's going on with the world. Next, we're visited by the antelope. The antelope reminds us that it's time to make decisions. And decisions often come with change or the loss or just a different opportunity, which may or may not be so bad. So regardless, it's really time to make that decision and take appropriate action. It's not a time to hesitate. It's not really a good time for discussion, but it is time to embrace your future and make the decision. If you're going to sit, then sit. If you're going to run, then just run. But if you're going to sit still and that's your choice, then make sure that you put intention into that's your choice. It can be important to sit still too at times, especially if it's a life-threatening circumstance. So by acknowledging that that is your decision, it's just imperative at this time to make those choices based on your highest good. Acknowledge your intuition and use it to your advantage rather than going against it, because going against it never ends good. We're really in tune with ourselves, and your choices should be made with the combined will of your spirit and your instinct. So the more you're able to fine-tune your intuition, the more decisive you're going to be, and you'll start to see the other options don't really matter, because whatever option you choose is really going to help manifest your future to an easier path. And trust that you're ultimately making the right decision. So our third power animal is the koala, and it reminds us that it's time to speak less and listen more. So though you're making decisions, it's also important for you to listen to those around you, because those around you are trying to clue you into important symbols and information. With all the eclipse happening and other energies going through, especially on March 20th, this Friday, the veil is super open for many of us to be receiving visions or just seemingly random information that's actually truly coming through for each of us for a really important reason. Surround yourselves with it. There's many positive people that can play as a conduit for the divine for you. People you know that you understand and communicate with clearly, that will be able to give you a message. They're really your friends and your lifelines and your support system for a reason, because we're all so closely connected. And it's just a really important chance to receive all the messages that may be coming through. Also, the koala also comes as to show us empathy. It's here to remind us that we learn from others' feelings and experiences as well. And many of us also often use more words than needed, and a person can fill the air with words that sometimes cloud the true message. So be sure to look outside of the box to find the message that is being retransmitted. And talking so much ourselves sometimes make us lose the opportunity for a message to channel. So just really allow that space, and by talking less, you'll find immense opportunities to not only listen, but to really hear what's going on around you. Being silent gives you an opportunity to really get to know others in a kind of different way. And just asking them simple questions and really tuning into the way they present the answers with their words, their body language, their eye contact, all of those things. We often forget that we don't just communicate with words. We communicate so many other ways. And words were really one of the last ways that came to us. And listening closely as you walk through the woods even, you hear the sound of your heartbeat, you hear every breath, you hear every crunch of a leaf, or just every step in general. There's some way it's heard, even a critter that just kind of like fall on your path. So make a point in the near future to really embrace the silence or really lack thereof in nature, and you'll be able to just embrace all of the information that's coming to you so fast at this time. And just remember to always shine through. So the barriers are being lifted and decisions are being made and things are happening. So the card reading is pretty pretty intense, and some of my favorite animals too.
Yeah, that was a great one.
Beautiful.
Definitely like that.
For sure.
And I'm more of the silent listener type, unless if people ask me questions. And I do enjoy getting asked questions, and I enjoy answering them. But I think it's important also if there's that awkward silence, all it takes is that one question to get it going. And sometimes I really don't remember to ask questions, mainly because I have other thoughts going on in my head. And once I just remember that it's better to live in the moment, and then I can ask this person a question, and they will say something, and I can take whatever from it and use that
Yeah,
for
for sure.
betterment.
For sure.
So it is important to ask people questions.
You've taught me that a lot too. That it's important to listen as much as it is to speak. I often like to speak and share stories because I feel like other people learn from stories, but it's just as important to learn from other people's stories as it is to share your own.
Yeah, and if you do, if you find yourself if you find yourself talking more than any other person and you don't know why, just ask somebody a question, and the more questions you ask, the more excited they're going to get because they understand that you want to listen to them and that you are asking them questions, and it makes them feel important. It's really a really good thing to give somebody as a question.
For sure.
So, speaking of questions, I haven't checked the chat room to see if we had any yet, but
I'm not sure. Samantha, did you have any fun questions since we don't necessarily have a solid topic that we could just touch on and add some
See, and I'm so bad at thinking of questions. So that's something I have to work on.
That's cool.
Let's see. What about you guys? Like, what are you looking forward to most about the coming spring and the transition that goes along with it?
It's a good question.
I'm excited for adventure. It's a lot more exciting to adventure, I feel like, in the warmer weather and the warmer days, because though usually winter adventures are way more exciting, they're also way more dangerous. So I'm excited for safe travels, a little bit safer adventures, being able to experience nature and festival season and traveling. Way easier to travel in the warm weather.
For sure. I'm looking forward to running in a beautiful warm setting where I don't have to wear lots of clothes. I mean, I wear some clothes, of course. I'm also looking forward to being in my bare feet.
Loves his bare feet, dude.
I'm so excited. And also, I enjoy going out in nature and playing my ukulele. So really looking forward to that, and also just climbing to a mountain and sitting down and just writing. It's so nice.
It felt really good. We went down to the creek earlier and set up a little crystal grid and had a little candle, and it was kind of sad at the same time. It looked like an angel had landed there. There was so many white feathers all over the place, but I feel like it was probably a turtle goose or something of that sort. However, like just the scene of the white feathers just flowing in around the area of the water was very, very magical, and I got to sit near the water and work on some of my oracle cards for my personal oracle deck. And just knowing that the weather's starting to get to that point where I'll be able to go down there in my own little like spot in the woods and experience that magic and put it into words is gonna be awesome. It's already awesome. It's already started.
Yeah. So, Ree says that she does not have a question because she's drained and tired.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's drained and tired.
Yeah, for sure. But we're just excited and happy to be doing podcasting.
Yeah, I got 2 giveaways going on right now too. It's not necessarily podcasting, but just in general, I'm excited about that.
Why don't you go ahead and talk about them real quick?
Ooh, can I screen share?
Sure.
Will it let me?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Your screen share now. What's that? What's it you got there? Some.
Awesome, you got it. Selena De Fleur. Oh no, it went away.
Oh,
Oh no.
where did it go?
So many things
And
happening.
that's all your messages. Everybody's looking at your private messages.
That was everybody on Facebook sent me links to the alien noises.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I got like 3 messages all about the alien noises. All right. Selena De Fleur that does our card readings with us sometimes on the new and full moon. She's doing a giveaway. I actually got to make her new personal website that'll be launching this weekend on the Equinox. So fingers crossed, all goes well. And on her Facebook, she's doing a giveaway for one of my Tree Life pendants. And you're able to enter that and get in contact with her. And she does private readings and a bunch of other awesome spiritual guide and healing services. And just be looking out for her website to be launching here very soon and enter a chance to win that. Also, instead of doing a giveaway on projectbringmetolife.com, to enter, you still have a chance to win something free. You're just going to my website instead, and I pretty much I sponsor and I help Project Bring Me to Life in any way I can through my other business, which is shantasticshine.com, which is loading. On the sidebar, once this loads, you have an opportunity to subscribe to my newsletter, which is right here.
Nope, nobody can see that yet.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, and as soon as you did that, it took
Yeah.
it away. I don't know why.
Right. We're dancing.
Technical difficulties.
Technical dancing.
I'll try it one more time.
Okay.
I'm not going to do anything this time. All right. You can see my pretty face. Thanks. Right here on the right, there is a spot for you to subscribe to win a chance to win that awesome journal I'm holding or the bracelets that I have, which are balancing energy bracelets, and you'll have your choice of chakra to choose from. Just put your name in and your email and pick a number between 1 and 1,444. And once I reach 1,000 subscribers on my Facebook, there'll be a giveaway. So there's also a link right there to join the giveaway. And just help me out with that. And by helping me out with that, you're helping sponsor Project Bring Me to Life, which is a huge help.
Mm-hmm.
So free chances to win things all over the place.
Yes, for sure. So, yeah, let's do closing statements now.
Oh, okay.
No, unless yeah. No? All right. Reading. Okay. So, Samantha.
Okay. Closing statement.
What place do you have for the world?
Or shameless plugs.
That too.
Or shameless. Well, definitely, I'm just gonna back up that you guys should totally subscribe to Shantastic's website for updates and enter that contest. And check out her site in general because it's just, she does beautiful work.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just love it, and I think that everybody will love it too. So check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And words of advice. Just stay beautiful and keep smiling. I know things are kind of crazy right now and intense, but just remember to take some time out of your day and just smile and be grateful, if even for just a moment, and let yourself have that moment within all of the chaos and all of the madness and whatever, to just have just a little bit of peace.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Thank you, Samantha.
That's awesome. Beautiful.
And,
Just thank you.
And thank you again for being the mystery guest.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Very honored indeed. Closing statement.
For me, in case I didn't actually say during my little spiel a second ago, it's www.shantasticshine.com for any of our Spreaker listeners. I'm excited that we are able to just provide you guys with constant content, and we're growing as much as we can. We're entered in a contest, and we're hoping to get some grants to be able to bring you guys as much awesome as we possibly can via documentaries and better videos and just anything we can. And if you can join us in prayer and synchronistic awesomeness, and just hope that we can continue to grow for you guys. We want to bring as many of you into it as we can. Keep sending us people. We're working on growing our promos. share us on Facebook and Twitter and all of them awesome things that we spend so much of our valuable time on. If we're going to spend valuable time on it, we might as well spend valuable time helping other people. So we also want to help you. If you help us, we'll help you. So stay awake and shine on always. Those are my final statements.
Okay.
And you?
Yes. I would like to say that there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now, and it's very exciting. So, enjoy the movie. Get yourself some popcorn.
Life is a movie.
Get
It really is.
get a comfortable seat. Make sure you're comfortable, because this is going to be a long ride. It's going to be fun, and I'm excited to find out what happens when Pluto and Uranus are over with their battle.
I'm just glad they made such a huge shift and allowed everyone that needed to awaken and start their journey.
Yes.
And they'll continue. People are still going to be awakening through it. Sometimes there's certain planets affect certain people certain ways, but just the fact that they've made that shift and allowed that energy to enter, and now there's so many divine warriors doing the thing.
And we're all awesome.
Yes.
Everything was awesome.
When you're part of the team.
Okay.
Okay, we're done.
If you haven't yet, make sure you go to Spreaker.com/ProjectBringMeLife. It's SPREAKER.
And we've got a lot of followers, and we're excited about it.
Yes, and there you can download all of our podcasts up until the roundtable discussion, which I'm not sure which one, maybe 30. And we're getting all those uploaded, and it's doing as well. So make sure you go there and check that out and download our podcast. It is very mobile friendly. I promise. If you download the app, you can listen to it, and you can turn your screen off, and it won't shut it off. It'll keep playing, kind of like SoundCloud or Pandora.
And it'll give you a reminder when we go live, too, and we're going to start trying to do live ones through Spreaker if we can get all the technical difficulties worked out.
We'll see how that goes. It's
Tough.
it's a
It's a process. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a like button right here somewhere. Do that.
Mm-hmm. If you're on the Project Bring Me Life website, projectbringmelife.com, next to the video there is a button with our logo. Just click that and it'll take you right to the current podcast YouTube video, so you can comment, like it.
It's news to me too.
Whatever you want. So tomorrow, Sarah Hall will be on doing new moon card readings.
Snap. I didn't even know that.
So make sure you get in the chat for one of those. We'll start at 8 p.m. Eastern. On Thursday, we are doing our podcast on the law of attraction.
I'm excited for that one.
So we'll be talking about different ways you can use the law of attraction to manifest your dream reality. Manifest all those wonderful things that you've been thinking about.
For sure.
And it'll be a wonderful podcast, so we're very excited. And that will also be at 8 p.m. Eastern at projectbringmelife.com.
So beautiful.
Great. So thank you, the audience. Thank Samantha, our mystery guest. Thank you, Shantastic Shine. Always
my pleasure.
Making it shine. And
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. I was waiting for you to stop.
I almost said thank you, Suleiman, but I think I was just channeling Samantha.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you for creating it and allowing us all to grow.
Yes, definitely. I'm very happy to be part of this growing community.
Awesome. All right, guys. Stay awake and shine on always. We love you.
Bye.
Love you guys.